On Monday, June 8, 2026, Chinese President Xi Jinping's plane landed in Pyongyang, North Korea. This was a very important moment. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un met him at the airport. There was a big red carpet, and thousands of people cheered loudly. This visit showed the world how important this meeting was for both countries. President Xi had not visited North Korea for 7 years. His last trip was in June 2019. That was after talks between Kim Jong-un and then U.S. President Donald Trump about nuclear weapons did not go well. Now, in 2026, the world is very different. There are wars in Europe, and military tensions are high in Asia. The way countries work together is shifting around the world. China and North Korea share a long and deep history, often called a blood bond. This visit was not just a friendly meeting. Many wondered why Xi chose North Korea for his very first trip outside China in 2026. Some people thought he might be carrying a secret message for Kim Jong-un. As the two powerful leaders smiled and shook hands for the cameras, a much darker, bigger geopolitical game started behind the scenes. What exactly were they hiding from the rest of the world? What secret plans did they make? Find out in the next chapter, as we look deeper into their actions and the global impact of their meeting. 2. Two powerful men. These two men, President Xi Jinping of China and leader Kim Jong-un of North Korea, hold immense power. Xi Jinping has led China as its president since 2013. He has consolidated his political power, becoming China's most important leader in a very long time. His authority is unprecedented in recent Chinese history, meaning it has not been seen like this before. Under his rule, China has become a stronger player in the world, with an increasingly assertive foreign policy. Kim Jong-un leads North Korea, a nation often seen as one of the world's most opaque states. He took power in 2011 after his father's death. His country follows strict ideas like Juche, meaning self-reliance, and Songun, meaning military first. Both men command absolute loyalty from millions of people, making them two of the most untouchable figures on the planet. Kim has also overseen a dramatic acceleration of his country's nuclear weapons program, despite international sanctions. Their two countries share a strong historical connection. It is often called a blood bond, which started during the Korean War, from 1950 to 1953. China dispatched hundreds of thousands of soldiers to help North Korea fight against forces led by the United States. This shared sacrifice built a deep foundation for their alliance. Recently, Kim Jong-un has also built new, strong ties with Russia's President Vladimir Putin. This new friendship includes a mutual defense agreement signed in 2024. Russia's growing support for North Korea creates a shifting power dynamic and challenges China's influence. China has always been North Korea's main ally and economic lifeline. Now, Kim Jong-un is balancing his relationships, playing both China and Russia against each other. With their shared history, the stage was set for their face-to-face meeting in Pyongyang. But when the doors closed and the world could not see or hear, what secret plans did these two powerful men make? What hidden agenda did they discuss behind closed doors? The details of their private talks are coming next. The Big Trip. On June 8th and 9th, 2026, Chinese President Xi Jinping made a significant trip to North Korea. This was not just any visit. It was planned with extreme meticulous care, with every single detail organized months in advance. The purpose was to create an overwhelming and grand spectacle for the whole world to witness. When Xi Jinping's special plane touched down in Pyongyang, the capital, a vibrant red carpet was waiting. Kim Jong-un, North Korea's top leader, and his wife were there to greet him personally. Children presented flowers, and the air was filled with excitement. Along the city's main streets, huge banners loudly proclaimed eternal friendship between North Korea and China, alongside giant portraits of both powerful leaders.
The scene was almost surreal, with thousands of citizens lining the roads, waving and cheering for their guests. A majestic ceremony unfolded in Pyongyang's central square. A military honor guard stood at attention, and a booming 21-gun salute honored the visiting president. Thousands of North Korean workers and school children, dressed neatly, waved flags and colorful balloons. At the ceremony's close, countless balloons were released, floating upwards in a beautiful display. That same evening, a lavish state banquet was held at Moklon House, a traditional venue for high-level events. The following day, June 9th, Xi and Kim visited a ruling Workers' Party training school together. They shared shovels and planted a fir tree, an act full of symbolism for their growing ties. All these public events, from the cheering crowds to the tree planting, were precisely managed. No independent journalists were allowed. Every image and report came from official state media channels, acting as propaganda to project an image of unbreakable unity. This entire carefully crafted show was designed to send a clear, strong message to Japan and Western nations about their solid alliance. Yet, beneath these smiles and ceremonies, very intense and critical negotiations were set to begin. The hidden words spoken in those private meetings would soon surprise experts across the globe. 4. Words they shared. The formal meetings took place at the Kumsusan State Guest House on June 8th. Inside, the two leaders, President Xi Jinping and leader Kim Jong-un, spoke formally. Their official words were later shared through their state news channels. President Xi Jinping spoke first, highlighting the deep friendship between China and North Korea. He stressed that both nations are socialist countries led by communist parties. This strong bond, he explained, came from their shared ideals, beliefs, and common goals. Xi made a very firm promise. He declared, no matter how the international situation changes, the unwavering support for the socialist cause of North Korea will not change. He also said China would never change its strong will to protect the common interests and good strategic environment of both countries. This showed China's very strong stand. Next, Kim Jong-un spoke. He expressed North Korea's happiness about China's huge development. He noted that under Xi's leadership, China had achieved things that amazed the world. Kim stated that President Xi's decision to make Pyongyang his first overseas trip this year truly showed how much he cared about their relationship. Kim called this a tremendous encouragement for North Korea. He also mentioned that their ties had made good progress, bringing real benefits to their people. President Xi then offered to expand practical cooperation between the two nations. He suggested working together more closely in important areas like economics, trade, farming, health, construction, science, and technology.
Xi said this would give powerful momentum to their friendship. In an article published by a North Korean newspaper, Xi Jinping also wrote about important global matters. He stated that we must oppose hegemony, authoritarianism, and all attempts and plans to bring back militarism. This was a clear message against actions that could harm regional peace and stability. While the leaders spoke much about their strong friendship, shared ideals, and future plans, experts noticed something very important. There was a big omission in their official statements. They talked about many things, but one crucial word was not said out loud. This silence was not an accident. It was a deliberate choice that would soon alarm the Western world. 5. The hidden secrets. The most important word not said at the meeting was denuclearization. This word was conspicuously absent from all official talks. It showed that China was quietly okay with North Korea having nuclear weapons. This was a big change. North Korea, led by Kim Jong-un, was quickly making more nuclear weapons. Kim said North Korea had reached a very important stage in making nuclear capabilities. He promised to make the country's nuclear power grow at an exponential rate. Just before Xi Jinping arrived, North Korea showed a new place where they make fuel for nuclear bombs. They also plan to build a navy with nuclear weapons. Experts from South Korea said North Korea makes enough material for 10 to 20 nuclear bombs every year. They are also almost ready to use very long-range missiles. This situation was made more complex by Russia. Since the war in Europe began in 2022, North Korea and Russia became much closer. In 2024, they signed a special agreement to help each other if there was an attack. North Korea even sent thousands of soldiers to help Russia in Ukraine. In return, Russia gave North Korea important military technology and other support. China usually saw North Korea as a buffer state. This means North Korea acted like a protective wall between China and the American military in South Korea. But Russia's new influence made China uncomfortable. Xi Jinping wanted to counterbalance Russia's growing power over Kim Jong-un. Kim Jong-un was playing a dangerous game. He was getting weapons and technology from Russia. At the same time, he wanted money and protection from China. He was trying to use both big powers to build his nuclear dream. This was a smart but risky strategy. He was trying to get the best from both sides without relying too much on one. Kim Jong-un wanted to make North Korea a strong nuclear power. He used Russian weapons and Chinese money to do this. But what did China really want from this friendship? What was the hidden price for China's protection and support? The true cost of this close bond would soon become clear. What they want. China and North Korea act like friends, but their reasons are practical. China sees North Korea as a buffer state. This means North Korea is a country between China and the U.S. military in South Korea. China does not want American soldiers on its border. If North Korea's government fell apart, many refugees could enter China. A unified Korea with U.S. troops would be an unwelcome neighbor for China, changing regional power. China also wants North Korea to agree on Taiwan. North Korea quickly confirmed its support for China's One China policy, meaning Taiwan is part of China.
China also wants to show its primacy in the region. Despite North Korea's new bond with Russia, China reminds Kim Jong-un it is still North Korea's most critical economic lifeline, providing money, food, and fuel. Lastly, China wants to stop things from getting worse on the Korean peninsula. It manages escalation so small problems do not turn into a big war. This instability would be bad for China's security. North Korea also has clear reasons for this friendship. Its economic survival depends almost completely on China. China gives North Korea vital food, fuel, and basic goods. Without China, its economy would struggle. Kim Jong-un also wants Chinese tourists to visit again, bringing money. A big desire is China's quiet approval of its nuclear weapons program. When China did not publicly talk about denuclearization, it was a tacit acceptance of North Korea being a nuclear state.
This makes Kim's country feel stronger and more important, helping him achieve goals. Xi Jinping making Pyongyang his first overseas trip of 2026 helped Kim's political standing. It showed North Korea is important enough for China's powerful leader to visit. This helps Kim look strong and respected to his own people and other countries. He aims to balance support from both China and Russia to get the most benefits. These selfish goals from both China and North Korea create a tense situation in Asia. Their alignment on these serious matters could lead to major military disagreements with nearby countries. China and North Korea made private deals, trading money and protection for loyalty and shared political views. But surrounding countries are not blind. How will the United States, Japan, and South Korea respond to this dangerous new alliance? The global fallout and their reactions will be explored in the next chapter. 7. The world watches. The meeting between China and North Korea quickly changed how many countries thought about Asia. Leaders in South Korea, Washington, and Tokyo watched with great concern. They knew the power balance had shifted. In South Korea, President Lee Jae-myung spoke about the new close ties between Russia and North Korea. He saw the growing divide between his country and its northern neighbor. But he still wanted to talk, hoping for peace. South Korean experts also noted that China did not mention North Korea giving up its nuclear weapons. This made South Korea think again about China's role as a partner. Japan felt this shift strongly. Their Prime Minister, Sanai Takaichi, had already started to make Japan's military stronger. This was a direct response to rising tensions in the region. Beijing saw Japan's actions as dangerous, calling them militarism that could harm regional peace. Japan was clearly getting ready for a more difficult future. The United States was in a complex spot. President Donald Trump had met with Kim Jong-un before and wanted to talk again. Some people thought that Xi Jinping, during his recent trip, might have carried a secret message from Trump to Kim. The White House said Trump and Xi both wanted North Korea to give up its nuclear weapons. But China's public statements were careful, only saying they talked about the nuclear issue. North Korea, for its part, still said it would not give up its nuclear weapons before any talks. The idea of another meeting between Trump and Kim Jong-un was a wild card. If it happened, this summit between Xi and Kim could be an important step towards it. But the region was now rapidly arming itself. Countries were testing new missiles, and warships were moving into position. The old rules for peace seemed to be breaking. This made the whole world wonder what would happen next. The future looked uncertain for everyone. 8. The final story. The fir tree planted in Pyongyang now stands tall.
It is a lasting symbol of the friendship between China and North Korea. The 2026 summit changed Northeast Asia forever. It showed a dangerous new path. The quiet agreement between Xi Jinping and Kim Jong-un means the region is at a difficult crossroads. North Korea is heavily armed, backed by China and Russia. This makes the entire region riskier. Old ways of peace are under stress, and many countries worry. This new partnership forms a de facto anti-Western group. North Korea's nuclear weapons are real. They are growing in number and getting better. These powerful weapons target nearby cities and American military bases. A stronger North Korea, backed by China and Russia, is more dangerous for everyone. For North Korean people, the summit brought no new hope or freedom. Their lives remain hard. They have no voice in big decisions and cannot freely get information or move. Leaders made plans, but citizens still face struggles for food and basic rights. Their tragic reality is silence while their country makes powerful new alliances. The world used sanctions to stop North Korea's nuclear program, but the 2026 summit shows these plans continue to grow. Do sanctions truly work, or do they push countries like North Korea closer to strong allies like Russia and China? This is a big question for leaders and policymakers everywhere as they think about international diplomacy's future.
The handshakes are over and red carpets rolled up, but this meeting's results will affect the world for many years. The trajectory of global events may have just changed. The countdown to the next big global problem may have begun. What do you think will be the biggest challenge facing the world because of this new alliance?
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world.